Good morning. If everybody could find a seat, we're about to get started. I feel like I'm right. There we go. Okay. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Do we have any first timers in here? Show of hands. We've got a few. Great. Awesome. Thank you for being here. If you could, take out your phone. Please download the 1 Million Cups app if you have not already. Check in so that way you can provide feedback to both presenters. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a couple presentations today, and then we will have our experts open up with questions, and then we will open up to you with questions. So if we want to, we can have the experts introduce themselves, please.
My name is Erin Little. I run a global health nonprofit up in Boston called Young Professionals Chronic Disease Network. I've also founded 2 companies in the hardware space, specifically for endocrinology, and just had one acquired by a company called Livinggo.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Quest.
That was a slow response. You guys are still asleep. Well, anyways, I run Project United Knowledge, and my name is Quest. We are an incubator/startup studio for women and underestimated individuals in the Kansas City area that want to take their business forward and grow it. And so I'm going to help judge this morning. Wake up.
I love that shirt, by the way. All right, we're going to get started with our first presenters. Please welcome the Leah Center. Woo!
Turning myself on. You come this way. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm LaToya Mays.
I'm Joe Mays.
We are the owners of the Leah Center. It's a holistic wellness center and spa. I don't think the mic's working. What's that? Is my mic working?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Hello? Okay, all right, cool.
That was more than 3 seconds.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me right now?
No, use it because it'll be on the internet.
Gotcha.
All right. We are the owners of the Leah Center. So we are always thinking back to the way we grew up, and to the way we grew up, and it was so not on the health side. Mindfulness and veganism and managing pain with anything other than painkillers, pills, or things like that. It wasn't the norm for us. So to make it out and to have the mind frame that we have now, growing food and implementing mindfulness and fitness and eliminating chemicals and meats from our diets, I think is more fascinating to our family and friends than even making it out and making it to the NFL like he did.
Yeah, so I made it to the NFL. I played 8 years. So I knew what it took to get there. I knew the hard work, the dedication, the preparation, and I also knew the sacrifices that I had to make in order to make it. One thing that I did know about, which was the side effect of playing football, is the toll that it takes on your body. So you're banging day in, day out, week in, week out, and you have to find ways to take care of your body. So before me and my family went on this holistic journey, I was a pill popper. So whenever I had any kind of issues, anything wrong with my body, I took a pill, thought I felt better, went back out there and did it again. And that was just the type of culture that I was in. That's the culture that I was born and raised in. That was the culture that was presented to me once I got to the NFL. So I realized what it was doing to my body, where it was masking issues while creating others. So we wanted to make a change. We wanted to do something different. So me and my family, we started going on a holistic route. Started taking things that definitely helped my body, and got away from the pills because we just know how bad those pills do things. They do bad things to us. And we definitely know that it's a terrible epidemic going on when it comes to pill popping. It's countrywide, nationwide, and it definitely starts with each individual as far as being able to change. I think that's, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is help spark change here in KC so that it can spread across the entire country.
Yeah, so with that change comes self-care. We've been so reactive to things that happen. We get to where we are, this is different. Something's going on funky with this thing. But we get to where we are reactive to symptoms and signs, and then obviously eventually disabilities, rather than being proactive and educating ourselves and putting things in our bodies that help it heal itself. So we just wanted to be the people that educate or help educate from the middle. I mean, on the coast, they get this, but here in the Midwest, it just seems like we are slow to these kinds of things. So we wanted to create that ripple effect and create a spa that wasn't just relaxation, that is truly self-care, which we feel like is the future to healthcare. Awareness, education, growth, and eventually getting to that high level of overall wellness and well-being. Even in the U.S. Constitution, they stated that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. So a holistic approach to healthcare is what we are trying to get people to understand.
And it's definitely happened. Slowly but surely it's happening, especially when you go across the coast like my wife was talking about. East Coast, West Coast, when it comes to holistic wellness, it's on every single corner. So why not have it here in KC? Why not do our job as far as being able to present what we've learned and just share it with everyone here in KC so that we can become a more healthier country?
So the services that we provide at the Leah Center fall under quite a few of the wellness industry cluster. We're a spa. We do complementary and alternative medicine, healthy eating, fitness. We do mind, body, and even anti-aging. So we are on par with this wellness cluster that is a $1.9 trillion global market. And we just wanted to implement these services and these things.
And we have a ton of great services in our spa, in our center. We're known as a spa, so we do have spa amenities like massage, facials, things like that. But we wanted to have something different. So as you see right here, we have the only natural cryotherapy chamber in the Midwest, in our place. And it's super beneficial for you because it's true whole body healing at its finest. Resets blood flow while removing toxins, inflammation, and swelling. I can go on and on about it, but I'm going to keep moving. We have a salt room in our spa as well, and it's great for allergies. It's great for asthma. It's a great way to detox if you just have like a bug or something that you're trying to get rid of. And right now is the season where people are coming down with colds and different things like that. So just come on by, get in our salt room, and it'll definitely help.
So just a few more of the services that we provide. We try to take it back to a natural state, as we said before, ancient Ayurvedic methods and massage therapy, chemical-free facials, wellness coaching, and herbal medicine.
Yeah, and it's only going to get better for us. We just finalized with having a registered nurse in our place. We've also finalized with having an herbal clinician. So we're going to have someone there that's going to be able to take the medications that you may be taking right now and put it more in a natural form. So it's going to be able to break it down for you so that you're taking things that's going to be totally helpful for your body. Right now, we're in talks of bringing in a chiropractor. So that's going to be in the works hopefully sooner rather than later. And we're also in talks of bringing a physical therapist. So we want to be known as a one-stop shop. We want you to come to our place and not have to go anywhere else for any other needs that you have.
So we just finalized our first corporate wellness plan with a law firm downtown. We've implemented our co-working spa memberships where we wanted to cater toward KC entrepreneurs that may benefit from having a wellness aspect as they work. And then we have subscription boxes and other products.
Yeah, and so this past year was pretty good for us. We felt like we did some good things. We were actually named the best new health haven by 435 magazine, and we've been nominated for the Business of the Year for this year with the KC Chamber. So we felt like we started off on a great start, and we're going to finish 2018 with a bang.
That's it.
Yeah.
He did that because I am terrible. I hate public speaking. So
You're great. You did so well.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about where you're getting your most traction from? Is it from the subscription boxes, or I know the price point for the actual therapy can be quite high. I have a few friends that have done it for Olympic training and stuff. How many people come in and they know what that even is?
A lot of people know what it is. It's becoming a service that people are actually looking for. So we get a lot of hits. Quest, you would like that. We get a lot of hits on our SEO for cryotherapy. But I think the cryotherapy might be the thing that people come in for the most. And it's all walks of life. We've had people come in. A guy brought his 12-year-old son and brought him in who is into sports. And we had a 70-year-old man who came in for it. So it's for everybody.
Can you talk about your marketing strategy and your main particular client in Kansas City, and then how you plan to grow that client base this year?
Our main client, I think, is the mindful client, yoga. People who go to yoga already, people who kind of take that self-care into their hands. Our plan to grow that market is the education piece. We have to educate people on what it is that we're offering and why they need it, and by being proactive about their health care will help them in the long run.
Do you have any partnerships like already in place with like Healthy KC or any of the organizations here that already do that promoting where they would do it for you like for free pretty much?
I wish somebody would do something for me for free. But we are a part of the chamber, and we've been talking with them about the Healthy KC thing. So, I mean, we were one of the Healthy KC businesses that was recognized. So, hopefully that happens.
Do you have any idea what the percentages is in terms of like for your SEO? Is everything coming through like your social media marketing, or where is it coming? Where are people coming and hearing about you guys from?
We get a lot of people that just Google certain things like yoga, cryotherapy, holistic or wellness. But we do get a lot from social marketing too, Facebook. Probably more so than Instagram. They're always changing things, so it's hard to keep up.
I think the awesome thing is, people look at us and just see spa, but when they do come in, they get a chance to see everything that we have to offer. So it becomes more of an education piece just from that standpoint. And then once they want to further their health and education and things like that, then they're able to ask us questions and we're able to help them out.
So I'm actually kind of surprised you're going the individual route, because I've worked with a few businesses that are like ex-NFL players running it and stuff, and I know they have special tie-ups for like ex-NFL. Why are you not going like the corporate route? Because that's going to be 10 times easier to scale your business than, going after like one yogi after another.
We've recently implemented the corporate wellness, and like I said, we have a law firm downtown, one of the largest ones in Kansas City, where we're going to go in and create a wellness room and go over there on a weekly plan, do nutrition, do massages and facials if they need it. But cryotherapy was our main thing for them. It's hard to get lawyers out of the office, so yeah.
Sorry. We're going to open up to questions. If you do have a question, please raise your hand. We've got a first one right here.
Thank you. A tremendous contribution to society. It's wonderful, really wonderful and badly needed. My question is on foods. I haven't heard much about it. Specifically, sugars can even induce all this extra need for pills.
Oh, yeah.
Would you please respond to that?
So we have a holistic nutritionist and an herbalist who work with people who have a certain, I'll call it an addiction to sugar, or that inflammatory diet that we call it, dairy and all of those things. So, I mean, our approach is, like we said, holistic. So we just finalized with a nurse. We'll have a nurse do the intake, do the daily food journals, and come up with a plan to help people eliminate those things on a slow process, so that they can have better overall health.
Question
That's
over
it. That answer you? Okay.
Question over here on your left. Hi, guys. Nice presentation. You did a good job, despite
Thank you.
your self-criticism. So a couple of quick questions. Are you doing any speaking engagements at like chambers of commerce or co-working spaces? That would be some way to get basically some free publicity and get some people out. And I guess the second question is kind of a selfish one. As I work out of a co-working space, what does your co-working membership or discount look like?
So we have, first question was.
As far as the speaking is concerned,
Okay.
this was our first step. So we wanted to get in front of you guys here
I ignored
at
that
Million
question.
Cups and speak and really just get out there and put the message out there. And we're definitely going to continue to speak to more people just so they know more about us and what we have to offer, and so they can know more about what they need for their bodies and their life.
And so with co-working, we have daily, weekly, and monthly passes. You can come over and even set up your computer and work with us too, and get a 20% off of services that day, do a yoga class, and kind of implement that wellness. I feel like it opens up so much more creativity when you implement wellness into your day.
Question over here. So you guys are awesome, and your story is great, and you talk about the problem really, really well. I see a trap that a lot of people who care about health and wellness coming up in the future. So there's like this huge problem, and you can see how you can help it. So that's like one circle. But you've chosen to start a business in order to help solve parts of that problem, and that's another circle. And these circles like don't directly overlap. So how do you deal with that tension? How can you like have as much positive impact on the problem that you see out there and still run a successful business? Because at the end of the day, you have to make money.
And so that's definitely a struggle for us because it's a struggle because we feel like we were put here to kind of help educate people on what we educated ourselves on, because there's no other place you can go and do that at. So, like I said before, we definitely struggle with the being able to spread the message, but also not wanting to seem like we only doing it for the money. It's not just the money, but at the end of the day, that's definitely an important piece.
And I think us, the way that we approach our business is we create community, and so we're in there with the people, and the people feel like they know us and they want to come around. And we have people that come there for a couple of hours, and I'm not with them for a couple of hours, but they like to just be in the space. And I think that eventually, the more we create community, the more people will want to be there. And our prices aren't extremely high. And if you look at the doctors these days opening practices, they're going membership based too. And insurance is just becoming obsolete for the most part.
I've got a question for you way in the back.
Hi there.
Hello.
Great presentation. Good job,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
So my question is we live out in the suburbs, so side note, if you came out to like Blue Springs, that would be amazing. But so if somebody just comes in and says, I'm a total hot mess, can you help me from A to Z and everything in between? Is that something that you guys offer, or is it more just come in, here's our menu, and pick it out from there?
No, and that's why we implemented the nurse. We have free consultations, so she'll go through medical history, drug history, food diary, and all of that first, and then come back and have a second appointment where we say, okay, here's what I think will work for you. In what capacity would you need us to help you with this? Or do you want me to tell you what to do with your hot mess self? Or you want to choose from this list of things? And so we like to, like I said, it's building and it's educating and it's going through the process with people.
And we live in Lee's Summit, so we're not too far away from you. That drive it's definitely a long drive, but for your health, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Question in the middle.
Great presentation. Tell me about your pricing point in terms of an individual coming in for a day, a week, a month. What does that look like?
They are all customized to what the client needs, and then pricing structure is a little weird. I mean, if you come in and you're getting cryotherapy, first time we give it for $35. And then we have packages where you can buy a 3 or 10 or do a monthly pass. So we discount it really, really deeply depending on how much of a commitment that you try to make to your health care. An overall chronic illness client, we try to, it's a little hard depending on what it's for, but like I said, if it's that you have a monthly plan or you're gonna come to us for 3 months straight or 6 months straight, then we bring that tier down.
Do you have a sense of what your cost per customer acquisition is? Including all your marketing, including all this other stuff you're already doing and the education and everything else. Like, to bring one client in, how much is that costing you?
I would think probably about $5 or so, yeah.
So where like in the process, just like how you guys have your funnel set up, where are people dropping off? Is it like they do 2 sessions and then they drop off? Are they like trying all the different services? Are they just trying the cryotherapy? Like, where is kind of the gap?
I guess it kind of depends on the person. You know, we get a lot of people that just want to come in and do cryo, and it's like a one-time deal. We do get people that want to do something different, that's know about traditional medicine and what it's done for them, and they want to try something different and want to move more to a holistic side. So those people tend to stick around a lot. They come in, you think it's a one-time deal, but 6 months later you still see their face, and they come in and just to hang out and to learn more. So it all depends on the person. You know, it depends on what you're coming in, what issues you have, and if you just want to try cryo, come in and do that. But yeah, like I said before, it depends on them.
We get a lot of people from out of town too. So those one clients end up being people that are in for a convention or something like that.
Can you go back to your slide of you playing football? So my question is, do you think that Alex Smith should keep his job? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
It is so far back.
I do think he should keep his job.
Yeah.
But the sad thing about it is, more than likely he's not. I've always been a fan of Alex Smith even before I played with him. I knew the type of quarterback that he is. I know he knows how to take care of the ball. I'm getting into football stuff, so I'm sorry about that.
Okay, my actual question is, your story is so compelling. Like a football player, the pills, not wanting to do it, turning to a healthy lifestyle. This is on everyone's mind with concussions and everything else that's going on. How do you capitalize on that? So first, to what extent have you, like any big press coverage? But then how do you do it more? Because there's a lot there.
So I have been trying to put a lot more out there in the press. I've been trying to reach out to the NFL to see if that's something that they wanted to, partner along with, and we can kind of come help and educate. Haven't heard anything back from them, unfortunately. So, but the thing is, it's not going to stop me from trying. I'm going to keep on trying to push the word out there, and it starts with the people here in Kansas City for sure. But as far as my athletes, I'm definitely trying to reach out to them as much as I can to try to put that word out so that we can definitely stop this epidemic when it comes to opiates, because it's a huge thing right now.
Another question on your left. Oh, did I cut you off?
No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
So first of all, thanks for doing business in Kansas City. I love what you're doing. Thanks for doing it here. Great story about your own self and why you got into this, but I feel like this really makes you happy when you help an individual solve a problem. Could you give me a little more specific example? Obviously redact the names, but someone recently that really made your day when you helped them.
So, like my wife said, we've been working with some serious clients, or clients with serious issues, and we have a client that has ALS that come into our space, and he's been coming there for the past 3 years, and
3 months.
3 months, I'm sorry about that. And just being able to meet him, talk with him, learning his backstory about who he is, where he's from, what the things that he used to do before this illness kind of taking a hold of him. it kind of tugged at my heartstring a little bit because, you know, I want to help him. I want to do everything I can possible to get him back to a normal state. But I think in the end, he kind of helped me out. He kind of helped me realize what I have going on. It's a great thing. My family, just cherish my family, cherish everything that I have going on right now at the present moment, and just continue to be a great person. And that was some things that I learned from him. So to have him come into our space for us to help him, and he helped us, that's been amazing for us. And you know, we're hoping to have more stories like that for sure.
How do you go about adding services in terms of what you started with to what you're looking to do? We had talked a little bit before your presentation about talking to an ND, et cetera. I guess, what are you looking to add? What are some things you would like to, other services you would like to have?
Yeah, we are talking to a medical director who is a naturopathic doctor. So full-scale wellness or healthcare plans for sure. We also would like to expand into corporate, creating these wellness rooms like we are going to do in the law office. Hotels, co-working spaces. I think people are starting to understand that wellness is a big part of making sure that your employees are healthy too. So if we could do mini Leias in these large corporations, that's what we ultimately would like to do, and to probably franchise and be in other states as well.
All right, guys. Last question for you. What can we do? What can we as a community do to help you?
He made me go all the way back on my slides. And now I got to click, click, click. But definitely expanding our reach. That was the corporate spa and all of that. Ways to expand our reach. Joe really likes talking to high school players. I guess I can let you say that.
Yeah, yeah. So I definitely like to spread the word to high school players, because the younger you're able to spread that message, the better it is. Because not only are they just using it for the football aspect of their life, they're using it for their entire life and every single step of the way, and they're able to help educate other people as well. So the younger you catch them, the better.
Yeah, obtaining corporate partnerships, getting into a medical veteran outpatient referral system, and then advice on funding.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. Guys, give them a big round of applause. Thank you. All right, guys. We've got a couple quick announcements. First, Kyle, you're going to do a live announcement real quick, right? All right. I'll get out of your way.
We want to put this on your radar. So coming up in February, 1 Million Cups is celebrating Black History Month by having all Black founders all month long. So we definitely hope you'll continue coming through the month of February. Also on that last Wednesday, so that's the 28th, we'll be doing a special 1 Million Cups in the evening, which is also going to include a small business fair. So grab your calendars now and mark down every single Wednesday in February, because we are super excited to celebrate Black History Month with you. Thank you.
All right, cool. All right, next up we have Marilyn with a quick announcement.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Marilyn Fluke, and I'm with an organization called SCORE. And the RE in SCORE is Retired Executives. We're a national organization of volunteers, and we work with the small business entrepreneurial community. You! Kansas City SCORE's been here since 1964, working in the community, and we're always trying to do new things to be current and help you succeed in your business. So I have two of my co-mentors from SCORE. Cindy Taylor, would you raise your hand? And I saw Karen Froelich earlier. Oh, I missed you. And they have our new news in postcard form for you. We are going to be launching 5 new classes for free digital marketing workshops. They'll be held here at Kauffman in the conference center in the meeting rooms. The back lists the 5 different classes. We've hired outside experts to come in. And did I say it was free? Because everything that SCORE does is free. Our goal is to help you succeed. Please ask us any questions, and we hope you'll come to our classes.
All right.
Dr. Deadbody.
My favorite time of announcements. It is Mug Club time. So raise your hand if you have been here 10 times or more. Okay, good, good. Now put your hand down if you've already received a mug. I think we've just got a few options here. Kyle's coming with the mug.
Good morning. Can you tell us your name and why you come to 1 Million Cups?
I'm so excited. I'm Linda Morden. I'm a life coach. I work with women to kind of achieve their dreams and their greatest happiness. And I come here because it's so inspiring to see people who are doing exactly that. They're making their dreams work. They're people who go out and really make it happen. And that's the best way to start a Wednesday. I wouldn't miss it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. Guys, up next, we have KingFit. KingFit is a mobile app that puts diabetes education in the palm of your hand. Please give a warm round of applause for Miguel.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Miguel Johns, and I come from a long family history of people with diabetes. My father has it, and my grandmother as well. When my grandmother was diagnosed with diabetes, she told me that she wanted to live healthier. She said that she would no longer be drinking soda and from now on would only consume fruit juice and chocolate milk. Unfortunately, my grandmother is not alone. Of the nearly 5,000 people diagnosed with diabetes every day in America, 95% go without formal diabetes self-management education. This is a big problem because diabetes self-management education has been clinically proven to reduce the risk of renal failure, loss of vision, and neuropathy by up to 40%, saving the U.S. healthcare system thousands of dollars per patient per year. After speaking to nearly 100 healthcare professionals, we identified 3 key reasons for why this is happening. Reason number 1, their insurance doesn't cover the cost, so they'd have to pay $300 to $500 to participate in the program. Reason number 2, they live in one of the 1,500 U.S. counties that currently doesn't offer diabetes self-management education, and so they'd have to drive to a completely different community to receive the services. And reason number 3, if they are fortunate enough to have the program offered in their community and their insurance covers the cost, well, the class is on Tuesday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., and that just does not fit in the busy schedule of most of us. That is why we have put together a moonshot to supply free diabetes education worldwide. And we have put together the team to accomplish this moonshot. Combined, our certified diabetes educators have published over 20 books, over 300 articles, and have started 5 diabetes-focused businesses. For people with diabetes, we have produced a mobile application that delivers industry-leading diabetes education to the palm of your hand for free. A significant unmet need remains in the market, and our approach is different. We eliminate the insurance factor by making our application available free for download in both app stores. We solve the problem of lack of access by bringing those industry experts to the palm of your hand. And our diabetes self-management education is the most convenient diabetes education on the planet. Our content is delivered in consumable, bite-sized animated pieces that the patient can consume on their time, at their pace, while doing the dishes or folding the laundry. That is why we believe it is working. After spending less than $3,000 in 2017, we reached 125,000 video views and 50,000 minutes of content viewed. And if you know anything about diabetes education, the engagement is extremely low in the United States. This has helped us pick up some early traction. We had 250 people sign up to beta test our application and give us feedback on how it works and the content. We've landed 2 clinical pilot partners, the first of which is Via Christi, launching on February 2nd in Wichita, Kansas. We have a partnership with Keycentrix, a pharmaceutical technology company that will expand our reach to 1,200 pharmacies across the United States. And I'm really excited because we have been requested to submit a proposal to our first major health plan that would significantly transform our business throughout the year 2018. A large problem still remains, but thanks to the one thing we all share in common and what we can learn from the platforms on it, like Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, there are new and innovative ways to educate people about their health or their chronic illness at scale. That is what we are here to do, starting with diabetes, and we would love for you to join us. Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to our expert panelists to go ahead and ask you some questions.
Good morning.
Now we have the mic. All right, well, thank you for your presentation. Thanks for educating us on diabetes and all the great funness that comes along with it. But could you give the entire audience, since my background is in technology, how you managed to build your mobile application for $3,000, get it out onto the market, and take a ultimate lean approach?
Yeah,
so
$3,000 spent on actual marketing. The development of the app cost significantly more. Well, I'm actually not a developer, and so we learned a lot through that process. We tried to outsource the development twice. Both times it went very poorly, so we eventually found the guys to bring in-house and have it built in-house, but again, that cost a lot more than that. But we still tried to remain as lean as possible.
What's your MAU?
Monthly active users? Right now we're at 300, and so again, in the pilot, it's our MVP, so we're trying to get that feedback and really not pushing it through many referral sources, and again, the big traction will come as we partner with more health plans and more software technology companies for pharmacies, EMRs, and things like that. But these early users have given us a bunch of feedback. They've showed us which content is most interesting to them and which pieces of the app they're interacting with the most. So we want to really start building on that rapidly throughout 2018.
And I'm probably the worst person you could have pitched this to because I've had diabetes for over 30 years. I'm type 1. What is your ultimate goal with this? Like, what is your ultimate mission with this?
Yeah, so again, going back to the story of my grandmother, there's so many people out there who, when they're newly diagnosed with diabetes, they're not seeing the right experts, and so they have to kind of self-educate, which leads to a whole bunch of things that can be avoided, mostly being a big significant epidemic we're seeing in, especially with people with type 2 diabetes, is depression. And so we want to supply them the resource and the guidance in an extremely easy way that they'll actually participate in so that they can become better at self-managing.
Okay, so my question to follow up with that is, in the marketplaces on both of the stores, you got a lot of competition with diabetes type educational apps.
Yep.
So with your recent partnerships, how do you plan to scale against those types of companies while maintaining your free membership, or do you guys plan on going to paid? And then how do you guys make money?
Yeah, so we actually make money in two ways. We have two target customers. One are the technology companies for pharmacies and hospital systems. We work with them to be included in that technology, so when somebody comes through, we're implemented in the workflow in an automated process, and the reason we bring value to them is because those technology companies want to seem like superstars to those providers so that they continue to subscribe to that technology. For just to give an example, like in Allscripts, we would be embedded in that technology so that they can help the physician automate some of those repetitive educational processes, making the physician's life easier while improving their star rating, so the physician continues to buy from that same software company. And in regards to health plans, we actually offer a license agreement. And so with the first health plan that we're starting to work with, they'd pay us a license subscription to start boosting that technology to their patient population, and then we would return them the patient-reported health outcomes that help them improve the insurance plan, and then help them provide that to the provider so they can also improve their star rating.
And are you marketing this to diabetics directly or only to providers?
So with the first downloads that we had, it was directly to consumer. mainly through Facebook. That's where we were able to spend just a little bit of money and have a large reach. We've also had physician referrals. We have a small group of physicians in the Wichita and the Kansas City area who are pushing this to their patient population currently. Again, will cost a lot more than partnering with a health plan, so we want to go the route of B to B to C in the future, but we have done a little B to C early on.
So my final question is how do your barrier to entry, how do you keep others from coming on your coattails and pretty much doing the exact same thing and replicating it? It seems like something that a lot of us could easily pull off of gathering and crowdsourcing the videos. So what's the barrier to keep me and everyone else in this room from doing this?
Well, first of all, this is the baby version. So we have a complete algorithm that we're mapping out that'll include a scoring system, that'll include leaderboards, community features, and things like that that will begin building in 2018. But with technologies like ours, there's really no significant barrier to entry. It comes down to market size, speed, and money. So we want to be able to move much faster than anybody who'd be able to copy us at this point in time. We've also had the funding that helped us get off the ground. But again, it's just going to be about how quickly we can move and the market size being large enough for us to capture enough to still have a significant business, even if somebody does replicate it very easily.
We're going to go ahead and open it up to questions to the audience. I've got one here in the center.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
I would think that the education of diabetes is further complicated by comorbidities that some of these patients have. Are you able to personalize the content that's served up?
Currently, we cannot, but physicians in hospital systems are already asking us if we can start including information about heart disease or any other thing that comes with having diabetes. They also see opportunities with other repetitive things they have, like asthma and arthritis. So we see those as opportunities. Again, being a startup and trying to be laser focused on diabetes to begin with, not trying to get too ahead of ourselves, but that is something that we plan to move in that direction in the future.
Question all the way in the back. Hey, how you doing? I'm Keon Arrington. I want to, before you leave, introduce you to some good people. The Mazes, they own the Leia Center. And I believe that with you, we can avoid diabetes on their holistic side. So before you leave, let me introduce you to them.
I've got a question for you on the left here.
Excellent presentation, very tight and to the point.
Thank you.
I'm curious to know more about your value proposition to the pharmacies. Thinking from strictly a business standpoint, I'm thinking I probably want to sell more insulin as a pharmacy from a business standpoint. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So our goal is to help those pharmacists and providers in this kind of the same value proposition focus on the patients that they're going to make more money on versus somebody who's newly diagnosed who may not come back and see him for years. And in that case, we can take care of the automated processes. So that's our value prop is we're going to take care of these repetitive systems that you have. We're going to automate them so that you can focus on the things that are actually bringing you money into your organization.
Question right up front.
Miguel, I love the fact that you have other diseases that you can apply this to for business growth. But in talking to you, you told me something that really excited me, that you're thinking of moving from Wichita to Kansas City. So all of us in the audience, we've got to tell Miguel the great things about our community and our co-working and how we work together to help you. And while I've got the microphone, I missed a big opportunity. SCORE is a mentor for the Leia Center, and I'm so proud that they're here. But we'd love to be a mentor for you when you come to Kansas City.
Thank you.
Wrong direction.
Question here on your left.
Hi, I'm Alan Carter, and I'm a PharmD, so I'm a pharmacist, very well experienced in the diabetes area. And I tend to ask questions and then publish results that are a little offbeat, and people in the big business world don't like to see, but the answers need to be found. But the big question that goes into this is the cybersecurity side. And I would suggest you reach out to Diabetes Technology Society, which is a global group working heavily in this area to help protect the privacy of people that are using your apps.
Okay. Thank you. Actually, thank you a lot for that.
Another question over here.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
As an individual who has type 2 diabetes, how do I, as an individual, access your app?
It is in both app stores. You can just go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and download it right now if you'd like.
What's the name?
King Fit for Diabetes Education.
I want to continue down that path. Do you actually have pictures of how the app works in there somewhere?
Yes.
Because my question is, it kind of sounds like your pitch, your value proposition is not that people can find credible information. Because if someone knows how to Google, they can do
Correct.
that. Your value proposition is that they will actually consume it and they will actually use it and they will actually make changes in their life.
Correct. And really,
How?
it's the convenience aspect. So after talking to people with diabetes, it's not that they have no desire to learn how to manage their chronic illness. It's a natural human need to have certainty. And so a lot of people go through that scare when they're newly diagnosed. The problem is the inconvenience. So our educators have written 20-something books that anybody could read. The problem is people don't read, in America especially. So we wanted to create the easiest possible way for people to understand it. And to get to this point where you can press one button, 2 buttons, and start learning from one of these industry-leading experts, we studied YouTube channels that have millions of subscribers that are talking about world history and mathematics and Khan Academy and things like that, where they've really understood how to educate people at scale in entertaining ways. And we wanted to bring that to healthcare, which, if we're all honest, I know some healthcare professionals won't like it too much, but healthcare is not something we spend our free time on. And so we wanted to make it convenient, easy, and entertaining. And that's really our value proposition because, again, there's tons of information out there.
So this to me, it's not super clear if you want to, what your exit plan is with this. This to me, your presentation is amazing. You've got your pitch down. You're very eloquent, but this is a very crowded space. These apps were big like a decade ago. And I would definitely look at the other content companies like Outcome Health up in Chicago. They did very, very well.
Yeah.
The company Allscripts is their
yeah.
CEO is who acquired my company. But
Yeah.
I'm just concerned that like you need a lot more, whether it's on the pharma side, building out those partnerships or working more with the patients, you need a lot more traction than you know.
Yeah, and to add on that, not wanting to replicate Outcome Health right now just because they're going through all the legal things for what they did. But the idea is that we work almost as a supplement to the much larger players. And so when you look at the application space, on one end we've got what I call the utility tools that help you manage your blood glucose, non-invasive blood glucose monitors. We've got medication adherence tools. We've got things like that. And then on the other end, we've got actual digital health coaching platforms. And so our idea is that we can supplement both, whether in Allscripts or Cerner is using a certain program, we actually fit well into that workflow and bring a new style to it. But of course, it's going to all rely on what kind of partnerships we're able to build with large health plans and large technology companies.
Have you looked at all at the like SBIR process or any of the NIH grants or anything else like that? Because in the government space, actually, this is very, very needed. And especially with all the community health worker models and stuff like that, being able to have this would be like a huge value add. I'm just concerned that like right now the space is so crowded that like unless you find a way to kind of like stick out a lot, even your name, there's a very, very popular app called Calorie King. A lot of people will confuse you with that, and being able to kind of stand out is going to be an issue for you.
Yeah. So I've looked at the grants a little bit, and actually the female in the middle there, Dr. Sherry Kohlberg, has been approved for nearly 100 grants in her career. She also has type 1 diabetes. And I just don't have as much understanding on it to put that time and effort into it with the things we have going on in one end. But I'd love to learn a lot more about it because lots of people keep bringing it up. But of course, as you mentioned, one of your companies was acquired in a startup. There's only so many hours in the day to really put your focus and attention to, so you have to go to the biggest opportunities. But really interested in learning more from somebody who may have some experience in that area who can point us in the right direction.
So just real quick, so back to that like whole barriers question. And since you're going into it seems like it's restarting again with the whole education system, and there's a couple other startups in this space. So with some of you guys that are funded, not funded, and then for the startups that are now edging into the pharmaceutical companies like ahead of you or acquiring insurance companies, how do you plan to wedge King Fit between like a Fit 4D that has funding, backing, and then it has 5 insurance companies?
Yeah. So I'm actually in the same accelerator as David at Fit4D. And again, mentioning that our application is more of a complement than competition. We've actually had discussions of how we'll fit into their workflow. Same with an Amada Health, same with a retrofit. So there's a good quote, and I can't remember who said it, but as a startup, it's really good to be a great accessory to the big players. And that's where we are different than these other apps who Fit4D may see as competition. We've, again, had multiple discussions of how they would plug us into what they're already doing.
Question over here on your right.
Yeah, so how much information would one need to input into your system to get a measurable outcome that they could keep track of? And two, is there a community, an online community base for accountability?
Yeah, so again, mentioning that this is the MVP product in just our baby at this time. One of the main features that we want to bring in is that community aspect where people can get that discussion board going, support each other, and things like that. Right now, the user doesn't have to put any information besides their name and email if they want to access all the content. That will change because one of our main things will be collecting patient-reported outcomes. And for example, the American Diabetes Association had a big study where they collected it for 5,000 people, just talking about how they felt about their chronic disease at the time. And so we're going to stay away from the A1Cs and blood pressure and things like that. I'm going to rely on our partners to provide that for us. And we'll focus on how are you feeling about your chronic disease today? Do you have more anxiety, less anxiety, and along those terms? Yeah.
Question in the center.
And actually, she just asked a similar question as I did. Number one, are you able to monitor the profile of your users? And secondly, is there a way to set up a virtual support group where people can share recipes and support each other?
Yeah, yep. And right now we're just relying on Google Analytics to monitor who the people are, what content they're consuming, things like that. But the community piece is going to be absolutely necessary for what we're doing. And again, as we look at future development, we land some of these partnerships that we have lined up, we'll start bringing some more of those features into the application.
It seems like there may be a disconnect between people who need this education and people who are actually comfortable on their smartphones. So I guess maybe I'm thinking mostly of the older generation. Mm-hmm. So A, am I right about that? And B, do you care?
We've actually, with our tests, we've actually seen things that would go kind of against common sense. All of us either have grandparents or older individuals in our families, and most of them actually have smartphones today. And the idea was to make it so simple that anybody could understand it. Again, the market is large enough that we're not too worried about it. We will get the people who have the smartphones and understand video enough to use it, and we're not going to try to change it just based on that.
Hey, Miguel, so you talked, about your inspiration for this, but I don't know if you mentioned or talked about your entrepreneurial journey. So could you kind of give us some insight about your story and who you are?
Yeah, I went to Indiana State to play football a couple years ago. While I was there, I was getting my degree in exercise science because of my long family history of poor health. I wanted to understand how the human body worked and what we could do to prevent a lot of the things going on in the country. And while I was sitting in my chronic disease management class, I seen a documentary called Escape Fire, and it was all about the healthcare system and how it's pretty much in flames, and doctors were calling out for help, specifically to entrepreneurs to innovate and bring new services. So at that time, I had already had the entrepreneurial mindset coming from being a football player and understanding the hard work and things like that. And I started launching an online coaching platform where I was going to model it off the National Diabetes Prevention Program, which was really, really big at the time. Unfortunately, with Medicare and Medicaid no longer going to cover that, there's difficult things going on there. But I started presenting that idea out to the community. I was actually in Kansas City about 1.5 years ago with just PowerPoint slides, no product or anything, and sharing that idea, trying to get feedback on it. And we came across an advisor/investor who pointed us in a slightly different direction. He is a successful healthcare entrepreneur, founder of Pulse Systems Inc. out of Wichita, had a successful exit there. And he wanted us to focus on automating the process and not having to hire a bunch of coaches. So making a long story very short, we went through that process of communicating with the community, getting feedback, talking to healthcare professionals, and seeing with all these diabetes apps in the space where they were seeing their needs not met. And the only way to do that was actually talking to the certified diabetes educators and the physicians who were helping the patients on a regular basis. And over and over again, they said that we needed to do something about diabetes education. Actually, a female named Amy Fish out of Chicago, who actually audits every single diabetes education program in the country, told me that if we could make an application that delivered diabetes education in an easy fashion, that we would completely transform the space. And so educators, certified diabetes educators, were the ones who led us to where we are today.
Miguel, final question. What can we as a community do to help you?
All feedback. That's how we've gotten here today. We need to talk to other people, see what their questions are so we can learn how we can better answer those with what we're doing. Any connections in the healthcare space are extremely valuable, but just talking to people, getting that feedback helps a startup and an entrepreneur so much.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, guys.
You can provide that feedback in 2 ways. You can just hang out and get to know both of our entrepreneurs. Also, make sure you log into that app and provide feedback. We will be here next week, same time, same place, 9 a.m. on Wednesday. We hope to see you at 1 Million Cups. Thank you so much for coming, guys.